Hi, Deb. Nice to see you today.
Hey,
Thank you so much for taking out this time today to join us for this podcast. Right. And it's been a while. I was waiting to connect and have this conversation. I'm glad we could do it today. So grateful for the time you have been giving, Deb. So, how are things at your
same.
end?
It's pretty exciting right now. Yeah, so I've been watching a podcast and really love what you're doing in the SDR community. So I wanted to connect with you and have this conversation as well because
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy and get excited when people try to put content, especially in the SDR community in India, because it's still at a very nascent stage. So always love to contribute there.
Great, great. And I really love your work as well. I have personally learned a lot. A lot of my friends, follow you and they have learned a lot from your content, right? I appreciate what you are doing for the community. So it's a ritual of this show. Okay, there is one question I ask everyone
Yeah.
before we start, right? So did sales happen to you by chance or by choice?
I'd say both, honestly. To give you some backstory, I'm an engineer turned sales professional, and so I started my career in Cognizant
Hmm.
as a typical engineering role. But in
Okay.
20, when lockdown started, I had some time, right? And that's where I started to explore because I didn't have skills in my college time. I didn't learn too much skills, to be very
Okay.
honest. So I wanted to, explore other options apart from what I've learned in my college, and that's where I think sales happened. So I would say I chose it, but again, it's not something that I was thinking to do. And it started with internships in different fields.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold courses, sold fitness programs from B2C, then to B2B service like digital marketing services, and then tech sales happened.
Okay.
So it was kind of both, I would say, and I'm glad that this journey happened to me.
Hmm. Okay. So it's a mixture of by chance and by choice, right? So what do you think? If you were not an SDR today, you would be a analyst, engineer, whatever you call it. That is the path you would have chosen.
I think I would have been a data scientist.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember that at the last semester of my college, my friends were doing data science course during 2017, 18, and
Okay.
that time like data is the new next big thing, like data
Hmm.
science is the next big thing, and I also jumped in with the trend. So I started doing it with my friends, like whatever they're doing, no idea what I want to do. So I think
Okay.
if I stuck with that process, I would have been probably a data analyst or data scientist.
Great. But yeah, glad you chose this path, and yeah, today, like you got a good career, and through you, there are a lot of people learning and building careers as well. Right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, in today's show, I pretty much want to cover more on the mindset part and all of that, right? But I don't know how this conversation goes because I always keep this as candid as possible, like a chit chat.
Yeah.
So if I ask you this question, right? So for someone who watches this entire episode till the end, what do you think will be the major learning or insights they get from this conversation today?
I I think it's a great question. Actually, anyone who is listening to this podcast would say, I'm trying to make this podcast for Deb in 2021, who just started his SDR career, and to make him realize that how important his mindset is, which I learned the hard way in last 4 years. So
Mm-hmm.
anyone who will stuck at the end of the podcast will understand that the importance of mindset and how essential it is in particularly in sales,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe skills can be learned, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
teach skills, but mindset is something that it depends on a person. It's kind of
Mm.
it's very personal. It's kind of a personality, how you stand up, against all the odds which are there in your life. So this is what I have learned through sales, and this is what I've also implement in life as well. So I think someone who is struggling at this moment in terms of having building a strong resilient mindset will have some nuggets from my experience at the end of this podcast.
Okay, great. And I'm with you on this because I strongly believe that it's 75% mindset and 25% skill set, whether
Right.
in sales, whether you're building a business, doing whatever, right?
It-
Because as you said, skills can always be learned, right? You need that mindset, you need that resilience, grit, determination, whatever you call it. You need that,
exactly.
right? Only then you get those results. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, let's get started then. I'm excited for this, right? So, there is one question which is coming on my mind as we start is like, now you have been an SDR for a while now, right? So, when you start your day as an SDR, so what is that very first thought or kind of a routine that sets your mindset when you start your day?
I think the first is, why am I doing this? Like every day, why do I like do what I do, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is very important, your why. So I know that, personally, I love the process, like the whole journey and the whole work of being an SDR. That is
Mm-hmm.
very important, I think, to love what you're doing and to know why you are doing. So I think that is something that sets me apart, when I start my day. And also, I think it's very important that the product that you're selling, you should believe in that. So at this moment, what I'm selling is particularly for salespeople,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem that we are solving is something I know that they're actually facing in their day-to-day life, right? So to give you some like background, like in a very simple way, Align helps sellers to close more deals. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to very deep.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think in this way that, oh, I'm helping sellers to close more deals. What I think is, if let's say an account executive who has just started his career from an SDR, or let's say it's a new job, and that
Mm-hmm.
person was able to, close his or her first deal with Align, that would be a moment of, pride
Mm.
moment, right? Because that person will be recognized in their company. That person will be, use that commission to fulfill their personal goals.
Yeah.
So I'm not just thinking that Aligned is helping sellers to close deals. It's actually much more than that. What
The impact.
they're able to achieve, the impact, exactly. So that way of thinking is very important, and you can, use it in any product that you're selling and the problem that you're
Mm.
solving. So understand what impact you're putting in your prospect's life, not
Mm.
just, in their work, what its impact, how it's impacting their life as well. And when I think like that, actually gives me more excitement to talk to more people, send more emails, do more calls. And because
Mm.
I know that what I am doing, it's not something that I'm interrupting them. It's genuinely, when
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to them, it will change their life. So that way of thinking has helped me actually.
So the mindset shift of you positioning yourself as a problem solver, then interrupter in their day or something like that. You know that your
Exactly.
solution can really bring great value to them, help them build
Yeah,
things for themselves, right? And have a better life, better career. So, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah,
exactly.
I again, I'm with you on this because I also believe that if I don't buy what I'm selling, then how will I sell it? Right. So
Exactly.
if I don't buy it 100% that this problem is what my product is solving, then I'm not giving my 100%. I'm just faking it, right? That's what I
Exactly.
think.
Then you're
Nice.
just, trying to, you're just trying to crush your quota and just thinking
Yeah,
about in terms of numbers. And that is like a very painful way of, thinking, honestly.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think we can't do long-term selling if we have that kind of an approach. We'll be burnt out someday. Yeah. Okay, so now we just understood like what mindset you have when you start your day. So now let's say if I had to sit with you, okay, on a full work day of yours, okay, so what would, surprise me the most about how you plan and prioritize?
So it, in terms of like my work, what I prioritize firstly is, let's say, let's get into my day in my
Mm-hmm.
life sort of a
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like, when I try to prioritize my day, what I try to do is, firstly I try to find what are the people that, will be more likely to say yes to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, if I have to go more technical on that, it can be, let's say, people who I should follow up with, people with who are showing more signal. So I do a lot of signal based outreach. So my priority is always to find people, or let's say find accounts that are high chances to convert in that day,
Mm-hmm.
right? And also, this is in terms of my skills. I use a lot of tools for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go back to again the mindset part, what I try to do is, which are the most important people that I can help at this moment,
Mm.
right? So, and that helps me to, reach out to them in a very meaningful way.
Yeah.
when I write, let's say when I write emails or do cold calls, I try to make it, show my personality in that, because
Hmm.
what I've seen at this time, it is very easy to write emails. Like you can go to
Yeah,
ChatGPT and
I
just
know.
write me an email for XYZ. And ChatGPT will write you an email. Now, the problem here is you are just sending that email thinking that this will convert.
Hmm.
But you have to understand the problem of your prospects, how they react to, cold outreach, what
Yeah,
kind of pain points that will directly, be relevant to them. And this comes with experience, right?
yeah.
This will come with, if you have sent, let's say, thousands and thousands of emails, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you will know what kind of things can convert. So I also use, AI, ChatGPT, LLM models, but I know that it's just assistant to me. It just improves my
Yeah.
efficiency, but I am the person who will decide whether it's a good copy or bad copy.
Hmm.
So I think that's where, mindset shift happens. Like, I don't only randomly reach out to people. I try to be more human in this
Mm-hmm.
AI world,
Yeah.
and I think that's where it helps me and helping me right now.
Yeah. I think if I see from the prospect's perspective, imagine so many emails would be coming into their inbox and all are like AI written. And I'm damn sure a more human email will stand out
Yes.
amidst all those chaos over there. And I think, yeah, AI should always assist us. Then, we give all the work to AI and, make sure everything is done by AI. I feel let it be our assistant. Let it support us to do our job. But end of the day, decision making should be ours. What
Yeah.
works, what doesn't work, as you said, should be our call. Right?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So we were talking now that we are talking about your work and all of that. Now let's take example of a LinkedIn message or a cold email. Okay. So I know every day you
Uh,
might be writing so many emails, so many LinkedIn messages
yeah.
and all of that. What is the filter you use on your mind? Okay. So before just like hitting that send button. So what do you check after you compile it?
I put myself in my prospect shoes and see that
Mm-hmm.
if I like if my prospect, it's a, let's say, VP of sales of a Series A, Series B company.
Mm-hmm.
If I am in that position and if I am getting this email or LinkedIn message, will it get my attention? Because when I am writing, it's something that I have done. So obviously there
Yeah.
will be some connection to that message or email. But my
Hmm.
prospect is doesn't care about the email or message. What he or she will care, if the message is relevant to their problems, relevant to their pain points,
Hmm.
they understand that the person who is sending this email or LinkedIn message knows what is their KPIs, challenges, their part of the
Hmm.
world. So
Hmm.
I always try to put myself, or you can say my mind, in their world, and figure out that if I right now send this, will I reply to this if I was the prospect, right? That is more important than, because I feel everyone loves to talk about things that they have built or
Yeah.
they're doing, right? And it's very, like, in terms of psychology, it's very common, right? You love what you're doing, so you want to speak more about it. But you have to also understand that when you're reaching out to people, and especially in cold outreach, no one has signed up for your message, right? No one thinks that, okay, today I'll get 3 cold messages, I'm excited.
Yeah.
No one will do that. No one thinks like that. So you have to make them excited. Now, how can you make them excited? Again, the same psychology applies here. You have to talk about their world. You have to talk about their problems. You have to talk about their solution. And again, here the mistake a lot of people do is they fake personalize it, or fake, compliment. Like, hey,
Hmm.
whatever you're doing is something that is really good. I'm so inspired. And this is fake, that we
Yeah.
can be, you can understand that. And if you're reaching out to someone who has been in the industry for a very long time, right, they can
Hmm.
understand there's a fake way of personalizing. So you have to genuinely show interest. And
Yeah.
honestly, the how to show genuine interest, is to speak about their problems, relevant messages, and that's it. Like, whatever they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for example, if I've never followed your work, I would have never told you that, hey, I love what you're doing, genuinely.
Exactly.
I have
Yeah.
followed your work. That's why the compliments coming from a very genuine standpoint.
Mm.
If you're someone who I've not followed, I would have said that, I've just spoken about what problem you might be facing right now, and that's where from where I've started. Like, hey, many podcaster I speak to have a problem with, with creating short form videos from their long podcasts. I won't say that,
Hmm.
hey, whatever podcast that you're creating is really great. I really love that. I enjoy the show. And in background, I've never watched a podcast. That is like
Hmm.
a fake way of doing it.
Exactly.
So again, like before I send the email or the message, I just think that if I am on the other side of the, you know, other side, if will I reply to this, will I at least read this, and if
Hmm.
I feel no, I personally won't, then I think I'll won't send, I'll change the messaging and everything. Again, some basic copywriting skills, and writing the hook better, or writing those first subject line, or
Hmm.
writing the first few I would say preview messages, so that it gets their attention. Because you can write the best email, but if it's not getting the attention, it will be lost in their
Yeah.
inbox, because it's again busy. So these are few things that that I have in my mind before I reach out to anyone.
Yeah. So the mental filter is you go on the other side and see if this is relevant to me, right? That's what you
Yeah,
check. What's in it for me? Basically, that's what we follow. So it's not about
yeah,
what I have built here. It's not about my product. It's about your problem. So that's what we're trying to solve.
exactly.
Okay. You might have seen a lot of SDRs. You might have coached many, worked with many, and all of that. So tell me a couple of common mistakes that you see, these SDRs are making, especially in the outbound approach.
I think the first thing which I would say I have also done is it's not being very disciplined with their work. And I don't want to shy away from saying this. When I started, I also didn't, because I didn't understand how disciplined you need to be to get one reply. Because it's not that you send one message and you get one reply.
Yeah.
Probably you have to send 100 messages, 100 emails, and then you will get one reply. And they might book a meeting, and then they might not show up as well. That's the reality of outbound.
Yeah.
So the first thing is be very disciplined, and something uh, I would say, like some lot of people miss out on that. That you send 10 emails, and then or 10 LinkedIn messages, or 10 calls in for that matter, and say outbound is not working.
Yeah.
Because outbound is not working because you're not doing it discipline in a disciplined manner. So
Hmm.
that is because you have to put the work day in day out, and don't have to think about the result. And I know it's better, like easier said
Mhm.
than done, but if you preach that, if you practice that, I think you will be in a better place. Secondly, with discipline, the second point that comes is consistency. And
Hmm.
it's like a follow up to what I said right now. You have to be consistent to what you're doing. And this actually applies to everything in life. Like if you're, let's say you're creating content as well, you have to be consistent with creating content. You have to
Yeah.
be, let's say if you're working out as well, you have to be consistent for
Hmm.
for your workouts as well. Then it will show results. And it's no different in the SDR world. Like consistency, and I think discipline and consistency both go very parallelly. These are the two things very important. Like you can be a great cold caller, you can be a great social seller, but if
Mhm.
you're not disciplined, or not
Yeah.
consistent, results won't come, honestly. So whenever I speak to people and I tell them that, okay, outbound is not working, no worries. Can you tell me how many emails that you have sent this week? Or can you tell me how many messages that you have written? And most of the time I see the number is less, or probably they have sent emails on Monday and Wednesday, then they haven't done anything in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
rest of 3 days. So that's where the most challenge comes in. And second, and the third point I feel, which I have also done, is complaining, right? And when I say complaining, it means, like, let's say, oh, my data is bad, I'm getting poor data, that's why I'm not able to reach out to more people. Or you can say, oh, my call connect rate is low. I understand it can be a problem, but don't complain, try to find solutions. In my last 4 years, I have faced a lot of problems. One of the major problems that I've faced, I've never got a traditional coaching and training. And initially I used to complain, oh, I haven't got any training or
Yeah.
coaching, right? So that's why I'm not able to do well. But I understood that if I just complain, I won't go anywhere. If I'm not getting what I wanted, I have to go and search it and find it, and have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did after, like, I would say after 1 year of my journey, SDA
Mhm.
journey. And try to find solution. Problem is there, like problem will be
Yeah.
there. Like even at this moment, I also face a lot of problems in my work. But again, because of my experience, I try to find solutions for that, and what are the best
Mm,
possible solutions that I can find. So I think these are the three more important things, like not being disciplined and consistent at your work, and not being like complaining a lot, and
yeah,
not trying to find a solution. Because in your mind, when you complain, you're just trying to say that this is happening because of someone else's like someone
yeah,
else's
yeah.
fault, and not my fault. So I'll just wait for someone else to rectify this and find a solution for me. I'll just wait. And that is the worst thing. Like, no one is
Yeah,
coming to save you. You have to save yourself.
exactly. I think problem solving is the most underrated skill. It's a skill set actually.
Yeah.
Like you can, I was reading this somewhere, like you need to learn how to, approach a problem and solve it strategically. Like, this is what I do, step one, step two, step three. This is how I break down a
Exactly.
problem and eventually solve it. Then I think even our mind, right? Human mind, whenever you don't get results, it always tries to find something which is a mistake on the other side. So it'll always
Yeah.
show other party as a at fault. It'll never say that
Exactly.
that's not. I think that's a tuning issue. I don't know. But as you said, yeah, we should better to stop complaining and be a problem solver and try to fix things, right? So
Yep.
that's something we can do. We spoke about outreach, Deb, right? So is there any sort of like a sweet spot kind of thing or a balance, right, between the quantity and quality in outreach? Like, have you figured out anything like that?
If you would have asked me, let's say, this question in 3 years, like 3 years back, I would have
Mm-hmm.
said that balancing quality and quantity would have been difficult, because we want to improve our quantity, we want to reach out to more people, but
Mm-hmm.
again, like, we don't want to compromise on the quality, because we want to
Mm-hmm.
make each and every prospect feel personalized, feel heard, and everything. Now,
Mm.
this at this time, in when AI has been taking a lot of our work, like helping us in a lot of our work. I would say the quality quantity matchup has been reduced. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can reach out to 1,000 people, and your quality can be at a top notch level. Why?
Yeah.
Because, let's say, to give you some example, let's say when I started my career as an SDR, I remember I used to take 1 hour to research all my accounts, right? Because I used to go through, let's say, Google News, then I used to go through LinkedIn, then I used to go through podcasts, all those things, so that I find
Yeah.
something which I can personalize and genuinely make sure that I'm interested about them. Now, with introduction of, let's say, simple chat GPT,
Yeah.
right, and using that deep research model, you can just find out all the things that you need for an account or for a prospect, and you can
Mm.
do it at scale, right?
Yeah.
Let's say if you have 10 accounts to reach out, ChatGPT will help you to research everything. It will help you to write the emails. Again, you need to give proper prompts for that.
Yeah.
And you can reach out to everyone, and it will feel like that you have gone through each of their profile, each of their companies, what they're doing. But in
Mm-hmm.
reality, you have used AI. So quality and quantity right now can be used, like, can be done simultaneously. And that's where I think, if you're not using or taking help of AI at this moment, you are leaving a lot of money and a lot of things on the table that you should not do, right? So quality, in at this point, I would say quality and quantity both can be increased thanks to again, AI tools at this moment, and I think it's going to get better from here.
Yeah.
It will make SDRs more efficient. It
Mm-hmm.
will it will it will make SDRs reach out to more people. And the only problem that I see here is a lot of SDRs get lazy because of this.
Yeah.
Like, they will leave everything to AI to do, and they won't do anything. Because I get a lot of messages, outbound
Mm-hmm.
messages, and since I'm in this field, I read all these messages and I see that these are AI written, or these are very
Yeah.
lazy prospecting. So the only fear that I have, that SDS might become lazy, which I personally don't want people to have. Like, I make sure that I'm not lazy, but I'm efficient, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how can you be efficient? Like, just make sure that whatever you are like whatever ChatGPT, or let's say Gemini, whatever tool you're using, whatever result that you're getting from these AI tools, not just blindly sending this to prospect. You you are the last person who should decide everything when it goes
Yeah.
out, before it goes out to your prospect. And that's where efficiency comes in. Use your experience. Don't just rely on the tools. Use these tools to make you 10x better.
Hmm.
but don't be lazy.
Yeah.
So the quantity and quality thing is, I think, getting, it's getting easy to reach out to more people and making sure that your quality is top notch at this moment. So exciting time, to be honest. Like, I personally love it. I make sure that I can do the work of 3 SDRs at this moment, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the future, to be honest, lies. That's where the future is going. Like, less number of headcount, but the efficiency is at max level.
Yeah, I mean, no, it makes so much sense to me as well, I think. So just now you said that, you are doing the work of 3 SDRs, and, eventually that will be the future. So how much do you believe in these AI SDR agents then? Just a question out of randomly, I'm asking this. Okay, because that's something which is on LinkedIn everywhere now, right? What's your thought or opinion on this?
I can rant about this like in next, like for next 1 hour, but I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
The major problem for AI SDR, I'm not against AI SDR. I'm against the narrative that AI SDR can replace human SDRs and can book meetings on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Why I'll tell you, because someone who has done prospecting in their life, they will know that prospecting is not a straight line, that you find an account, you send them an email, they open the email, they read the email, and they book the meeting. It's not a straight path.
Yeah.
It's a difficult, path with lot of, you have to be persistent, you have to follow up all these things. Like, find a person, research, send them an email, they ignore you, you follow up, you then call them, it goes to voicemail. Then you reach out to them on LinkedIn, they ignored you. Then you send another follow up. They give you an objection. You handle that objection. Then probably after, let's say, another 1 week, they reply to you, and then they book a meeting. And this is like, I've just told about one example. There are
Yeah.
days when, let's say, if I'm prospecting enterprise accounts, if it took me months to reach out, to book one meeting, reaching out to, let's say, people, reaching out to managers, reaching out to their teammates, reaching out to then to the VP. So it's not a straight path.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what this AI SDR, most companies do, they sell you the dream that, booking meeting is easy, right?
Hmm.
Our SDR, AI SDR can do it. What you have to do, you have to close deals. My point is, it's not easy. Don't sell the wrong dream. And I also have, like, I actually am in this field, so I try to read about this, be very close to these things. What I've understood, that the people who have been building these tools, they have never prospected in their life,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's the
I have
problem.
seen this pattern. Yeah.
Like, the people who is building this tool, if they know what exactly it takes to prospect, what exactly it takes to, book a meeting for, let's say, if you're trying to book a meeting for at an enterprise account, what it takes, how it is done, then these narratives won't be there. And again, like, outbound is something not a lot of people have done, which I feel, and not a lot of people actually do it day on day, right? And no one likes cold outreach. If I have to be very honest, no one like
Yeah.
cold outreach. No one thinks that, okay, when they make a list of things that they want to do today, in their list, no one thinks that, okay, I'll talk to 3 random people, or I'll reply to 3 random emails today. No
Yeah.
one does that. So everyone's trying to find a shortcut how cold outbound can be, delegated or can be done easily. And that's where AI SDR sells the dream that, it is very easy. Just use our tool and you will get meetings on autopilot. And I mean, you have seen on LinkedIn that, this is dead, cold outbound, like cold calling is dead, cold email
Yeah.
is dead. Then they will tell you that, you can use our tool to book meetings and all this,
Yeah. Okay,
I
we
want
can
to,
use
I
the
want to
word.
say
It's okay. Nonsense.
all these things to, just to get some attention, just to, get some likes. And
Mm.
I won't be, I won't deny the fact that I've also, fallen into this prey just because of FOMO. But I've also learned that this is something that this no, won't happen. The worst part in all this, in this story, is they're trying to demean the work of a human SDR,
Yeah.
right? Like, as a founder who has never, let's say, done prospecting, when that person, let's say, thinks that, okay, making, like, generating leads or booking meetings is easy. Why do I need an SDR? Like, it's a very, like, they don't then respect you or respect the work that you're doing. They think that a tool can do it, but a tool
Mm.
can never do a work. It can
Yeah.
always help you to do help. like always assist you, like always
Yeah.
make you efficient. But booking meetings, like talking to people, getting their attention, these are like skills I don't think right now AI is there to do it. So that's the problem I have, honestly. Like, if let's say if someone who has done the job of being a like prospecting, and that person is building an AI SDR tool to make human SDR more efficient, I'm with that
Hmm.
person. Like,
Yeah.
probably I'll talk to that person, help that person to build the tool. Again, very few are there right now, what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I know. No, no, it makes sense. These folks haven't done outbound prospecting and they have built a tool.
Yeah,
Maybe they don't understand it. Yeah, they nothing against them, but yeah, they don't understand it, and it is being projected in the wrong way, as you said. I think
exactly,
that's the
exactly.
issue. Yeah, many good insights so far. Right. Thanks for all of that. I
Yeah,
do have some questions around. I wanted to make it like I wanted to understand few of the lessons you have learned. Right. So that's why I do have some questions on my mind. I'm going to ask you that. So. mm, Okay. So, what has been the toughest lesson you learned in your SDR journey so far that most people don't talk about today?
very good question. First thing which I learned the hard way, I would say, no one is going to save you or your quota,
Mm-hmm.
right, and help you if you're not reaching out to people actively for help. I'll give an example for this. So if you go to my LinkedIn, I had a very short stint at a company,
Mm-hmm.
right? The problem there was the SDRs were not set up for success, right? And it's not only me, the whole SDR team. I was promised for training and coaching, and I was very. It was just 6 7 months of my SDR career.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited, and for some reason, it didn't happen. Now, I the wrong thing that happened from my end was I was expecting that, okay, wait, I'll wait, and they
Yeah.
will help me. Now, that's the wrong way of doing it, right? If you see that whatever you're supposed to get, you're not getting, go and ask for it. And if you don't ask, and if you don't get the result at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, they will ask you where is your numbers, where is your what happened to your target.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you tell I don't know this, that it didn't happen, I didn't get the coaching, I didn't get training, they won't think this as a problem, they will think this as a complaint. So this is something that I learned the hard way. I realized that if I want coaching, training, I'll go. If I'm not get, for example, if I'm not getting from my, let's say from my company, I'll go outside. I'll go on LinkedIn. I'll try to find people who does mentorship coaching. I'll find people who is doing great. Talk to them and take it from them.
Hmm.
I'll make a solution for myself, and this is a reality, right?
Yeah.
Why I'm specifically mentioning coaching and training couple of times, because let's stick to India. What I've seen, proper SDR training in India is still lacking.
Hmm.
Now, when I started in 2021, it was not there. It was none. Still, at this moment, there are a couple of a couple of like SDR groups as well.
Mm-hmm.
People are also aware of that people are creating content, people like you and me are creating content,
Mm-hmm.
but still I would say there's a lack of proper coaching and
Yeah. Yeah.
mentorship, and a lot of companies are not able to do it, and they are expecting results.
Hmm.
Now, I have faced this in my life, I have faced this in my journey, and that is one of the reason, like, I started like coaching SDRs as a kind of side hustle from 2023, because I know that this is a problem and will be there, because
Yeah.
one of the reason is a lot of companies, if I have to mention, a lot of companies don't exactly know how to properly coach, train, onboard. Now there are a lot of big companies, especially in the West, will have
Mm-hmm.
a proper training, proper onboarding.
Yeah.
I was part of a company called Six Sense, and I know my US counterparts
Mm-hmm.
have a proper training sort of onboarding plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they join the company as an SDR or an AE. Now, these plans, I've not seen a lot of companies in Indian size companies doing it. I may
Yeah.
be wrong that few might be doing it, but maximum I'm saying, like in terms of numbers, maximum are still not doing it. And it's not probably not their fault as well. It's probably they don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
And but the again, I've spoken about the problem. The solution is I see a lot of people coming up like with training, coaching. There are SDR schools, SDR groups that you can be part of. So my advice to someone who is right now facing this problem, because I know I've faced this problem in my career. At this time, if you're facing this problem and if you're still complaining, then it's your fault. You have to go
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, you know, go on LinkedIn, try to find people, try to talk to people.
Hmm.
So one people will connect you with one thing, that
Yeah.
person will connect you with a group. That's how you figure out things. You have to figure out.
Exactly.
There are right now there are solutions for this problem. I
Hmm.
won't say a lot of solutions, but still, like there are coming up with solutions. People are coming up with solutions. People are coming up with content. You just have to, again, go and find your solution.
No, I think seeking for help is very important. Right? You have to ask for it, right? You don't get it, as you said. And I believe
Yeah.
just because we were talking about the enablement for SDRs here, at least in Indian context, this is something I've seen. I've seen, like, in the US, one guy who's a waiter this year becomes an SDR next year
Yeah.
because his communication was good, and the management or the companies over there, they're confident in coaching and enabling them. They just see those basics, fundamentals are right. Whereas on the other side, I see Indian, the SDR job description, if I see, like, there is so many things being expected. And I somehow, this is something I've spoken to other leaders as well in the SaaS space. Like, is it a problem because of the poor management, like the mid managers, right? So if you have good managers in the middle, right, they are the people who will be coaching end of the day, right? So if you have good enablement plan for the managers, the mid level managers, automatically you can hire anyone with good communication and make them a successful
Right.
SDR. Now, because
Right.
you don't want to spend money on that mid level management, you are asking too much from an SDR. Your enablement is broken, right? And everyone is stuck. Maybe that's something I feel that's the major issue here.
I feel it's a very good point that you've mentioned, and it actually makes sense. The person who will give the coaching, probably that person don't have the right coach,
Exactly.
right? And again, one thing that I want to highlight, and you mentioned that, and let's say right now, if someone wants to become an SDR, let's talk to B2C sellers coming
Mm-hmm.
from a tech background. I see, like, if they want to become an SDR, and when they are competing, they're just not just competing with people from B2C sellers, they're competing with people like me who have
Hmm.
experience, right?
Yeah.
And for a fresher, let's say, if let's stick to fresher SDR. For a fresher SDR as well, I see when I read the job that they need to have US market experience.
Yeah.
I never get this, like I never understood why. Because if you know how to cold call, if you know how to write emails, if you know how to send messages, okay, market can be different, like US,
Mm-hmm.
EMEA, APAC. But at the end of the day, you're reaching out to human beings, right?
Yeah.
Culturally they will be different. There will be some points that will be different, but not like it can be a deciding factor that this person was an Indian SDR, like Indian market SDR, have always prospected in Indian market, cannot fit in the US market.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
something that I don't understand, because personally, me, I have prospected all over the world.
Yeah.
Right, in my 4 years I have prospected all over the world. And okay, yeah, there are few differences, like when I talk to US people, when I talk to, let's say, people from UK, or I talk to
Hmm.
people from India, there are differences, but fundamental is same. Fundamentally,
Exactly.
I'm talking to people, and these are like differentiating factors. Like HRs, I see, reject people who have 2 years 3 years of Indian like experience, but let's say in the
Yeah.
APAC market, they just say that, oh, we just need US experience. And that is something I don't get it, to be honest.
I think which market is just, I think, 10% of the component. And, like, end of the day, as you said, it's your cold calling, your copywriting skills.
Yeah,
That is what is important. If that is in place, then the mindset majorly, right? So then
exactly.
automatically you'll adapt to any market, right? So it doesn't matter, right? So,
Exactly, yes.
yeah. I think that was a good point. Okay, so I think we are almost approaching the end of this, right? There is one thing you already covered. I wanted to talk a little more about these B2C
Mhm.
sales folks who are maybe listening to this or watching this. So what should they unlearn first before coming to SaaS SDR role?
Good question. Something I've spoken to a lot of B2C sellers, and I have done like B2C selling in my career as well as an internship, though. Something that I have seen, uh, B2C seller is kind of a push kind of selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you have to reach out to prospect and push your product. Now, I don't blame them. They have high targets, high pressure, and there's always a manager who is sitting on their head. And most of this environment is toxic. right? They work with a lot of pressure. So not blaming them, but this is the reality, because we have seen, I don't want to name the companies, we have seen a lot of, videos on the internet.
Yeah.
Now what they have to unlearn, they have to unlearn exactly this thing, because B2B selling is not pushing, it's consulting. It's approaching with a mindset that, do you have this problem? If not, okay. If yes, I'll happy to chat more. So it's not pushing your product.
Yeah.
It's actually talking about the problem. Because let's say when you're talking to a consumer is a different thing than talking to, let's say, a decision maker in a company, in a VP
Yeah.
or a director. You can't push your product to them, right? You can
Exactly.
not you can't say that, hey, we do this, we help you. They don't care. They get hundreds of
Yeah.
messages like that. They care about what you can do for them, what problem they are facing, and how they can solve those problems. So first unlearn this part, that you know you can't be someone who can just push your product. You can't reach out to people and just talk about your product. You have to first understand your prospect, especially for let's say for SDRs I'm speaking. You need to have 100% of prospect knowledge than your product knowledge. It's okay
Yeah.
if you have 60-70 of your product knowledge, but you have to have 100 and probably 200% of your product persona knowledge. In my job at Align, first few weeks I just learned about my prospect. Even though I've been prospecting for, let's say, for the GTM personas for last 3 years. But still, since I was not the AE, I actually spoke to a lot of AEs in my company, outside my company, and said that, say, this is a problem I'm trying to solve. This is a product that I'm trying to sell. I just want to speak to you and see if is it really relevant to you, and what are the problems that you face in your life. In your work, basically. And I've read a lot of articles. I used ChatGPT. I made it a account executive. Spoke to ChatGPT. I spent a lot of time just to understand what an AE does, how VP of sale cares about their team, AE team, or a sales manager, what that person thinks of of the AE team, or what is their problem. If you don't do all this thing, it is literally problem for you. Even if you're selling, let's say, something like Zoho or
Yeah.
Freshwork, if you're selling a product from big brands as well,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a problem if you don't understand your prospect.
Yeah.
So unlearn things that you only have to pitch your product, unlearn that, and learn that how you can solve problems. Learn
Exactly.
about your prospects thoroughly. Like, imagine yourself as your prospect. Like, if you're selling to finance people, imagine that you are a finance guy. Right? If you're selling to cybersecurity, imagine that you are like someone from the cybersecurity field, not a salesperson.
Yeah.
Put yourself in your prospect shoes as much as you can. So that is the first step, I would say.
Yeah. No, makes sense. Learning not to push the product, but talk about the problem. That's one thing. Second thing is, as you said, right, getting into their world is more important
Yeah.
than knowing your product. Product eventually you will figure out, right? As you spend time in that company, you will figure out the product, right? As you spend some months. But yeah, getting into their world, knowing your buyer 100%, what kind of daily KPIs they have, what is the biggest challenge for them, and what can only solve that, and all of that. That makes sense.
I would like to add one thing. As an SDR, always think that you're not selling a product. You're actually building a curiosity among their prospects, and actually selling the problem and booking the meeting. Because
Yeah,
your job is to build that
meetings.
curiosity, make them realize that the problem that they're facing, something that should have a solution at this moment. It is a very important problem they should solve, and then use that curiosity to book the meetings and hand over to your account executive, who actually should know all the product knowledge and nitty gritty of the
Exactly.
product to sell the product. So you're not selling the product, you're actually selling a problem and building that curiosity, that curiosity in them to see the product.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of, not directly like what you have done in your B2C world. It's very different. Like, when you're cold calling, you can't sell a product on cold call. You just talk about the problem, ignite the problem, and now they are thinking about the problem and they want a solution. And then you chip in and say that, okay, I have a solution for that. Here's what we can help you. And then you book the meeting. So it's very different shift of mindset there.
Exactly. Now, curiosity is a very important thing here. Like, you,
Yeah,
as an SDR, you build curiosity, right? And
exactly.
then you show the path. Okay, this, like, this is how we can solve the problem, and then it goes to the meeting, and from there AE will take forward. Nice. I mean, amazing conversation so far, right? So before we conclude, I have one question. No, I have two questions. So I'll go one by one. If you look back, right, and if you would want to start all over again as a fresher SDR today, what would you do differently?
Okay, very, very interesting question. What I would do differently if I'm starting to life, I would say that I'll try to first have a very strong why. That why I want to be an SDR. Now, second thing is something that a lot of people don't do. Take your SDR, like if you want to get into a SDR job, take that job hunting as an SDR process only.
Yeah.
Like build a prospect list or a lead list or a account list in terms of companies that you want to apply, and range them, that tier 1 companies, tier 2 companies, tier 3 companies. Don't blindly apply that I see 10 SDR positions, apply. No, think that what kind of product that you want to really sell, or what kind of prospects or personas you really want to talk every day, and make your account leads in this way. Like tier 1 is something, for example, I really love selling to sales tech. So tier 1 is, let's say, seeds to series B companies selling sales tech to sales and, let's say, customer success. Must be remote. Let's say if it's that a criteria for you, must be remote, and it can be any geography. It can be US, UK, anything. And so that is my tier 1. Then tier 2. Then tier 3. And be mindful, because this is exactly the what we will do when you become an SDR in any company. So if right now, because this is something that I'll do differently when I started. When I started in 2021, same way, I used to see openings, apply.
Yeah.
Not realizing what they're doing, what is their company, what stage is their company, what they're selling. And I also understand this fact that, it is easier said that, okay, make this tier one companies when you don't have a job. I understand that part, that there's a mental, problems, or a lot of things that you go mentally when you don't have a job and you just want a job. It doesn't matter if it's selling this or that. But having said that, while I understand that problem, because I have gone through that, I also want to request SDS that if you do it in a very strategic way, you will like your life will be sorted as an SDR. Like you won't be a part of any company that you don't want to be, right? Because a lot of the times you join a company and you think, okay, this is not something that I wanted to do. Now you're stuck. And if you feel stuck, you won't be able to do your job properly. So I understand that, not having a job is a very mental, like I would say, it's a problem. I would say it's something that you go through, like it's something that no one should go through. But at the same time, you be very strategic when you're applying to jobs, right? What kind, like, think that what kind of company I can serve. Is it like an early stage company? Is it a company where there are SDRs who are already crushing it and I can learn from them? And don't just apply jobs blindly. So that is something I would tell to Deb, who started his SDR career in 2021, to do these things differently.
No, makes sense. Absolutely. So more structured way would bring in a lot of value and make it better for you. Okay, the last question, right? So let's say, again, this is also ritual, right? So like how I started the conversation, this is how I end every show. So let's say there is someone in sales, maybe an SDR or maybe anyone who's stuck currently, right? Who was really putting in that hard work, but kind of stuck, not figuring out a way out of it. What is that message you would want to give to that person if they are listening to this or watching this?
Yeah, good question, actually. So there are few things that we can control in life and we can't control. And I am someone who believes in mental health, and I have taken a lot of I take mental like therapy sessions, and this is one thing that my therapist told me that it has stuck to me. Only focus on things that you can control. Now, if I talk it in terms of SDR world, let's say what we can control. We can control how many emails we send. We can control what kind of people we reach out to, accounts we reach out to. We can control, let's say, how many calls we make. We can control how we speak to them. Now, what we can't control, how they will reply to our messages, if they will reply to our messages or not, if I'll get a meeting from, let's say, 100 emails that I've sent or not, if I have, like, if someone will hang up on my face when I call them or not. Now, my point is, and I know it is very difficult, let's say, when you're feeling stuck, but if you have this mindset that today I'll just do what I can control and won't think about the result, right? If you can have that mindset, and this is not only in the SDR world, it can be anything in your life. If you had that mindset where you just think about what you can control, right? And leave everything, like rest of the things, to the universe. Let the universe, do the magic. If you can do that, if you can have that mindset, and it's
Hmm.
difficult if you want to start today, because it will
Yeah.
take some time. But if you
Hmm.
can give that time, because I know
Yeah.
when I started, I was very impatient, like with the result, why it's not coming. I've sent, let's say, 10 emails, why it's not coming, like why there's no meeting. You have to be patient with results, but impatient with your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be impatient with things you can control. Always try to do more. And
Right.
when it comes to results, just be patient. Just leave it
Hmm.
to the universe.
Yeah.
Let the universe do the magic. And I've seen this thing happen day in and day out. To give you an example, I was doing the same kind of outreach, same kind of effort from Monday to Thursday, zero result. Friday, same. There's no change in strategy or anything.
Yeah.
I got 5 meetings on Friday. So it is like that. Let's say if I was not patient on Friday, and I would have stopped working on Friday. I took a break. I said it's not working. Monday to
Yeah.
Thursday, I'll take a break, take a long weekend, and chill. I would have not got that result that I got on Friday. And it's not one time. I think it happened to me so many times, and
Hmm.
that's where I actually believe in that.
Yeah.
Like, be patient. Like, if your target, a monthly target, break that target, reverse engineer, see how many emails, calls will give you reach out, like it will help you to reach to your target, and just focus on the effort, on the emails, calls which you can control. And
Yeah.
you will be surprised to see that your result will definitely come if you're doing the all the efforts that you have put. Maybe not at this moment today, but at the
Hmm.
end of the month or the end of the quarter.
Absolutely. I think it's doing it again and again.
Again.
Sometimes you don't feel like doing it, but you still do it, and that is when, as a combined effect or compound effect, you get those results, right? As you
Exactly.
said, 5 meetings on a Friday, right? Nothing for four
Exactly.
days. So I think that is what people should keep on mind. And controllables, it makes sense because I also follow stoicism and all of that. Even in
Yeah.
stoicism, that's what they preach, right? Like they say, focus only on what you can control, and outcome is
Yeah.
anyways not in your control. So better enjoy the process and do what you can control, right? Outcomes will follow.
Exactly. I mean, this is something that you will see in every part of your life, be it like professional, personal, in your relationship, in your, in terms of your health, wealth, everything. Like
Yeah.
if you put your work, control, like do things which you can control, and let the result be there. It will come like in a
Yeah.
compounded way, as you said. Like compound is the eighth wonder, as we say,
Yeah.
and it is real. It is compounding is real, and it's not only your money, in terms of your skills, in terms of your health, everything related.
Great. Yeah, such an amazing conversation,
Yeah, loved
right?
it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, Deb. Thank you.
I've been to a couple of podcasts, and most of those podcasts were related to skills of an SDR, right?
Hmm.
Were spoken how to write a cold email, how
Yeah.
to do social selling. But I really enjoyed this podcast because I spoke about one of my, like, I would say, very close topic, that is mindset.
Hmm.
And one thing that I've realized, that if you go to LinkedIn at this moment, there are tips and tricks on emails, calls, LinkedIn, reach outs, prospecting, building list, all the skills
Yeah.
that are hard
Yeah.
skill that Asia needs. I'm yet to see a lot of content on the mindset part.
Exactly.
I'm glad that we spoke about mindset in this podcast.
Hmm.
Something that I really want to dig down more on that topic on my LinkedIn as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, thank you for doing this, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, no, I'm a biggest preacher of mindset thing. Even when I have managed teams, the very first thing I
Yeah,
focused is the mindset part. So I always built their
exactly.
mindset to a level so that skill set is taken care, right? We keep training them and all of that, it's taken care.
Yeah,
Glad we could talk more, we could explore more on this, right? And glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm grateful for the time you have spent with us today, and I'm damn
same.
sure people will be able to get a lot of insights from this episode.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Yep. Bye.